Okay guys, so part 2 with the skid steer. I was going to change the oil today, as I told you guys in part 1, but I can't find any blocks that I really want to rely on for this heavy piece of equipment, as it weighs over 6,000 pounds. Plus they're probably going to sink into my soft driveway. So I'm going to have to wait until I get some ramps this weekend to drive it up on, some heavy duty ramps. Either that or I'll have to wait and get a big enough jack so I could jack it up and throw some blocks under it that way, so that I can take that skid pan off, which will allow me to get at the oil filter and drain all the fluids or the engine oil. So anyway, what I'm going to work on today instead is I got to get this cab tilted up. There's a few bolts here that I got to take out, one in each corner. That allows this cab to come up. This cab is super heavy. I only had it up one time when the previous owner and me lifted it, and it was very, very heavy. It took pretty much 3 people to get it up. The shocks are not on there. He didn't have them on. He ordered them or got one used, so he only had one for me. So I want to put that on, but I can't put it on until I lift this cab up. So the plan is to fire this thing up, and then I'm going to drive it forward, and I'm going to drop the forks off. And because I'm going to have to use my Kubota tractor to try to hook this, what I'm going to do is try to hook the cage here, probably in these 2 corners, and try to lift it at least halfway up to where I can finish it by myself. Whether or not it's going to work or not, I don't know. We'll have to find out. So I'm going to remove the forks, remove those bolts, get my Kubota, get the bucket put on it, drive it over here, get the chain, try to lift this thing up. Once I get it up, I want to put those gas shocks on the sides, or the gas shock, I should say. I think just having the one on there will make it a lot easier than obviously no shocks, so it should give me some assistance anyway. Once I get that done, I'd like to see if I can look around in there and see if I can maybe get at the filter from the bottom of the cab here. And at least I'll have that shock on for next time I need to raise the cab, because I know I'm going to need to raise the cab to do the hydraulic filter and hydraulic change. So either way, this cab's got to come up at some point, so I might as well do that today. Maybe I can get it by myself next time with just the one shock assisting me. The other thing I want to do is I want to take this door off, which I might do that first. And I want to prime it, paint it. And then I got some cardboard I brought home from work. I'm going to lay the cardboard over these windows. And I'm going to kind of sketch it out and cut it so that I know what size plexiglass I need. And kind of use the cardboard as like a template. And then I'm going to bring it to my local hardware store and have them cut it out for me with plexiglass. And then that way I can come home and at least get the plexiglass sides mounted. The door hopefully will be painted before I leave, or dry when I get back. And then I can make up a template for that as well and put some plexiglass on that. Because I really want to get this cab enclosed before the next snowfall so that I don't have a cab full of snow. So that's the job at hand right now. So let me get these forks off. Let me get those bolts out. I'll get the Kubota out, get the bucket on, get it over here, and see if we can lift this cab up. Okay, I might as well just get this door out of the way as well. That way I don't end up damaging it when I put a chain on it to lift the cab. Okay, now that these 2 cab bolts are loosened up, one in each corner, this cab should lift. I took the door off just to get it out of the way. Like I said, I'll throw a chain around the bucket hooks, and I'll hook the cab on each corner here and lift with my loader on my Kubota. See if I can get this at least halfway up to the point to where I can get a gas shock on there, and maybe it'll help me assist it the rest of the way up. Here's the gas shock I'm talking about. These things are very strong. I can't compress it by myself. So it's going to be a lot easier once I get the cab up to almost full height and get this whole shock put in. And then that way I don't have to compress it as much, or maybe I don't have to compress it at all. Then I just got to find some bolts and some hardware to mount it. Okay, so I'm going to fire it up. I'm going to get the forks off of it. and then I'm gonna go grab the Kubota. I left my bucket down here the other day when I was using my tractor. Oh, I'm glad I decided to check these bolts one more time. I thought these bolts just stayed in there because they felt like they broke loose and came out, but evidently they got nuts on the backside, so I'm glad I checked that first. If I can budge it now with my hand. Oh yeah, okay. She's loose now. Okay, let's see if the Kubota can lift this up. The only thing I worry about is not having enough lift height on the little Kubota. That's why I want to take these the forks out of the way, so I can pull the Kubota up as close as I can to it. Give me a little bit more reach with the bloater bucket. I guess we'll find out. See, the way this is on there right now, it shouldn't fall off. Shouldn't. There's a lip like an overhang on the cab. I have the bucket on that overhang. It's still very dangerous, but what are you gonna do? And you could see down here how much my Kubota had to spare. I'm right inside the Skidsteer coupler. Little Kubota getting her done. I'm there now. I can get bolts in this shock, and now hopefully that'll, one shock being up there, will allow me to get this up by myself. Let me go get a bolt and see if I can get one in there now. Okay, so I got a grade 8 bolt, some washers, and a lock washer. This ear down here, see that ear right there? That's where the gas shock sits into. And right here, that's where it comes out. Once I get that threaded in, I'll be able to get the top popped on there, and then I should be good to let this thing back down. And it's a lot easier to get at. Okay, I think I finally found a bolt that was long enough. The right size. Really don't want to keep sticking my hand down in here. Okay. You can see how close I am here. It's like right there. Let me see if I can go any farther with the tractor. I just got to find a bolt for it, bolt in the big washer so it doesn't come back off. And I can finally let the cage down. Alright, well, the shock's finally on there. That was a challenge. That was a challenge right there. It's on there. It's on up there. Just having that one shock alone should allow me to at least close the cab and open it, hopefully by myself. But I'm definitely going to order the other one for the other side as well. So now I got to get this cab set back down because it's getting dark out. I'm running out of time. Figure out how this lock works. Oh, I'm glad that's done. That was sketchy, just like I thought it was gonna be. I knew this cab had a lock, but I still didn't really want to trust the lock, you know. If that loader would have dropped, you know, that cab could have come down on my arm, so I was still kind of nervous doing it, but we got her done. That shock's in there, and just as I suspected, with that one shock alone, I'm able to at least open and close the cab on my, you know, with my own strength. So that's nice. Because before that, there was no way. I couldn't get this thing to budge like an inch as hard as I can lift, and I can get it up like an inch and I'd have to drop it. So now with that shock on there, I could at least service the thing, get it up in the air, get the cab up, and now I could do that oil change and hydraulic filter and fuel filter a lot easier. So I'm glad that's done. Unfortunately, I didn't get to the windows today, making my templates and cutting my plexiglass, but I will do that first thing tomorrow. And now I just feel like I'm one step closer to having this thing where I need to have it. So, okay guys, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe.